Hello and welcome to Craft with Sarah. In this video, I'm going to show you how to assemble my layered ballerina SVG. This is a free SVG file which is available on my website, craftwithsarah.com/free-SVGs. Or you can click the link in the description of the video to go straight to the page. Let's see how it looks when we open it up in Cricut Design Space. After you've downloaded the free ballerina SVG from my website, it will come in a zip folder. You need to unzip the folder before you can upload the SVG into Cricut Design Space. If you're not sure how to do that, check the description of this video, as I've included some links for how to unzip folders on Windows computers, Macs, iPhones, iPads and Android devices, so you should be able to find one in there that will suit the type of machine or device that you're working on. Once you've unzipped the folder, you're ready to start uploading. So create a new file in Cricut Design Space like this, and then press Upload on the left of the screen. We're then going to press Upload Image. You can then either click Browse to find the file on your computer or click and drag it in. I've already got the file open on my other screen, so I'm just going to click and drag. Make sure when you find the folder that contains the file, you choose the unzipped one. And then the file you're looking for is the one that starts SVG in the file name. Do not try and upload any of the other files because they won't work. You must choose the one that starts SVG. So I'm going to drag my file in and it will upload it. It's going to show me a preview of it first, and this is how yours should look. So all of the colours are on top of each other and you can see the little ballerina. If your preview image looks different, so if you've got each of the different shapes and colours appearing separately on the screen, that means you've uploaded the PNG version by mistake and not the SVG. So if yours does not look like mine, then go ahead and click cancel down on the bottom right and then try again and make sure you upload the one that starts SVG in the file name. But if yours looks like this, you're ready to go, so let's click upload on the bottom right. And now it appears in my recent uploads, so I can click on it and then press insert images down on the bottom right. And here is my gorgeous little ballerina. I can resize her by dragging the little box, and if you don't see the box, you just need to click and then it will appear. Or you can use the width and height boxes at the top of the screen if you want to resize it like that. So go ahead, cut out your ballerina, and then I'll show you how to stick all of the layers together. Here are the layers of my ballerina all cut out, and I've placed them into position so I can check I'm happy with all the colours and that I have got everything. I'm going to be sticking this together with a mixture of glue and 3D foam pads. The glue I use is called Kalal. I really like it because it doesn't bend or warp the paper like some other glues can do. And I dispense it into these tiny needle tip bottles from Amazon. The foam pads that I'm using are from Dot and Dab. They look like this. You can get loads of different brands in all different sizes. These ones are quite big, so I do cut them in half so that they go a little bit longer. The Amazon links to where I get all of my products are in the description of the video below if you want to get the same ones. Alrighty, so let's split these layers apart so that we can start sticking it together. The first thing we're going to need is the glue, and that's to stick this layer on. And this forms her ballet shoe at the back leg. So I'm just going to put a little bit of glue on the back of there and then line it up, and it lines up perfectly with the edge of the layer below. Okay, next we have the body, the main sort of body and leg that goes on top. And this time I'm going to use foam pads. Here's my foam. I'm just going to stick some of these around the edge. And as I said, I have cut these in half so that I don't need to use as many. Now when you're adding the foam, you want to make sure you've got a good amount on there around the edges and in all the little extremity pieces like the head and the arms, but also put some in the middle. And that will stop the card from sagging under the weight of the other layers. Now I've put them on there, I can just peel the backs off, and that's going to release all of the stickiness on the foam pad. And bring my design back, and then line it up. I'm going to line it up along the bottom, and I'm just going to drop it down gently to start with, and that will let me see if I've got it lined up properly, which I have. But if you haven't, because you've just dropped it on, you should be able to just pick it up again without damaging anything. When you're happy with the positioning, then you can push down to get a really good seal on all of those foam pads. The next piece to add is the other shoe, and this is a glue layer. Let's just stick that on, and again it lines up with the skin layer underneath. Next we are going to be doing the main dress, so let's try and pick that up. More fingers and thumbs today, I don't know why. Oops. So this is the next layer, and it's up to you if you want to use foam or glue. I'm going to use some foam. Now if you've made my free layered fairy design that I shared a little while ago, you'll notice that it is very similar to this one. In fact, the main body of the fairy, once the wing layers are done, is kind of the same as this one. But if you've seen the fairy video, you'll know that for that one, I glued all the layers together because there were so many extra layers in the fairy with the little flower that she sat on. But for this ballerina, because it's a lot less layers, I'm using more foam pads. So if you've been wondering why this is different to those layers on the fairy, that is why. Or if you haven't seen the fairy one, check out the description. Again, I'll add the link to that one. Okay, next is the detail on the dress. I'm going to add some glue for that one. You could use foam, but there are some narrow pieces on here, so I think it'd be easier to do glue. And it just gives you that detail on her nice little ballet skirt. Tutu, that's the word I'm thinking of. Next is the arm and the chest. And for this one, I'm going to use glue because if you think about it, it's not going to be that much raised from the dress. So your chest would kind of be in line with your dress when you're wearing it. So I don't want to make the chest higher. But we will add some more depth with foam pads for the arm and the shoulder on top of this one. So I can stick this on. Make sure those fingers are lined up. And then add the arm, and this time I will add the foam. So it's really going to separate out that shoulder and arm and make it look realistic with the depth. So here we go, get those fingers lined up, and then the rest sort of falls into place. Now I just have her head left, and this is made up of a few different layers. So I'm just going to carefully move those eyelashes because they're so small. If you are finding the eyelashes are too small and fiddly, then you could draw them on instead. So don't feel that you have to persevere with them if they are a bit tiny. The next layer is this solid pink one, and this forms the little blush in her cheeks. So let's turn that over and add some foam. I'm going to stick this on. There we are. And then for the next head layer, so the skin on her face, you want to use glue for this. And that's because if you use foam, it'll add too much depth in the little space where her cheeks and nose and mouth are. So all you'll see is the shadow, so it'll just be grey, when we actually want you to be able to see that lovely little pink showing through. Next we've got the hair, which comes in 2 layers. I'm going to do the bottom one with glue and then the top one with foam. So let's add this one first, which is the bun at the top of her head. And then the hair on top. Now I've just said I was going to use foam with that, but I've changed my mind. And I will show you why in a minute. So I'm actually just going to use glue. All will become clear, hopefully. Right, so I've glued that on instead. And the reason I've glued it is one of these little eyelashes is going to cover some of the hair a bit. So if I'd have used foam for this front layer, then this eye that sits on the foam wouldn't have matched the eye that sits on the face, and it would have looked a little bit weird. So now we've got the eyebrows, not the eyebrows, the eyes, and they are very teeny tiny, so you just want the tiniest bit of glue on there. In fact, I've put too much on there, really. Oops, dropped it. So you want to make sure the eyelashes are pointing outwards. And you might find it easier to use tweezers or something to put these on. I did not think to bring my tweezers in to my recording room. So I'm using my fingernails, which is not ideal because I cut them not that long ago, so they're really short. Okay, so for the other eye, I'm going to just put it so it's kind of on top of the hair, just on the very bottom. So it lines up sort of horizontally with the other eye. Oh no, I dropped it. Put that on there. So it's just sort of overhanging the hair a little bit. There we are. Okay, so the eyes are definitely the hardest part of this design to stick on, but they look really pretty when they are done. So now we have all of our layers together. She is ready to go into a shadow box or on a greetings card or whatever it is that you want to do with her. I hope you enjoyed this video on how to assemble my layered ballerina SVG. Don't forget to check the link in the description to get the SVG file for yourself, and of course it is a free one. If you'd like to know how to cut the mats and layers that I use to frame this, then check out another video which will be released on the 16th of September 2021, so in a couple of weeks' time. In that one, I go through how to perfectly size your layered designs to fit in your shadow boxes or your frames, as well as how to make all of the different card shapes in the background. To make sure you don't miss out on that video, please subscribe to my channel, and if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. Thank you for watching. Bye.